What's good, YouTube? So today we're gonna be talking about I got rich because I stopped giving a F. So that's the title of this video. Let's see what this guy got to say.
I got rich as soon as I realized today was the day that I was going to stop giving a fuck forever. I'm 21 years old now, and looking back the days where I was 16, 17, trying to figure out all of this online business stuff and how to become a successful entrepreneur at a young age, I was so trapped in the worry of what other people would think of me. I was so focused on the fact that I felt like I had to go out of my way to make other people feel happy, to care about other people's opinions, to act like someone that I necessarily wasn't, just because I was so scared of the way that people interpreted me as a person. Now, not only when it comes to the way that people...
Personally, this right off the bat, I do not relate with. Like, I cannot understand why somebody's gonna be so scared of other people's opinions. I've always been somebody to do what I wanted to do. Like, never really was worried about people judging me, whatever comes out of whatever. Like, that's just been me, and I honestly think that's part of the reason why I've been struggling lately. Like, I feel like I need to care more about people's opinions, and that way I can just do better.
Interpreted me. But when I came to the realization that I had to also stop giving a fuck about what challenges life was throwing at me, I was able to actually visualize what I needed to do in order to get closer to the goals that I was trying to achieve. Now, there's a lot of ways you could interpret this message however it best suits you, but I think everyone needs to hear it when I say today is the day that you need to make the decision to stop giving a fuck forever.
I will say today's the day, because my YouTube channel is full swing. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, because today's the day I stopped giving an F fully. So maybe, maybe he got a point. Maybe I cared before. I don't know.
I had to choose one thing that I would say was the biggest, determining factor in me getting to where I am today. I would simply say it would be the art of not giving a fuck. The way that I thought then versus now is so completely different. Obviously, I'm in a position now where I'm running a high leverage business that's generating tons of revenue every single month.
See, another thing, I always wonder about these kind of kids though, because straight up, how much of the work did he actually do versus his mommy and daddy? Like, when I see a kid like this, I really think privileged. I don't really see hard work. I don't really see much of that. But I don't know him, maybe I'm wrong, but I just see a privileged kid.
With that comes a lot more problems, which gives me even more of a reason to give a fuck. But I genuinely think that the reason I'm in the position I'm in today is because I don't. Whether it's when it comes to what other people think about me, whether it's when business or life throws challenges at me, or when it's literally anything that does not affect my life in a positive way. Now, I think something so simple is something that's hard to elaborate on, and there's really no trick around the fact that you simply just have to make the decision that you're gonna stop giving a fuck. We all know that business and life thrives off of your decision making. And if you're letting these decisions that
is something I do agree with. Your life is a reflection of your choices, so if you take more risk in life, you generally have more of a reward. Not always. Sometimes it can turn out worse than before. So it's something you have to consider, though. If you're not taking any risk, you're going to be stuck right where you are, just doing the same thing. So
onto your quality of life as well as your quality of business be altered by people's opinions who don't matter to you, how are you ever going to make decisions that solely benefit you? Now, I don't mean that in a selfish way, but the reality of it is, in life and in business, if you want to get to where you aspire to be, it takes a little bit of selfishness. Now, obviously take that with a grain of salt, because depending on the scenario, it doesn't apply to all. And I truly believe that I'm a non-selfish person. But in the end of the day, I had to make decisions that weren't best for other people, but benefited myself. One of those being not giving a fuck about someone else's opinion. Even now, I truly think that the reason I'm in a position that I am...
I do get it though. Maybe when you're young, you do really care about people's opinions. So that could hold you back a lot from doing what you want to do in life. Like, if you like making music, for an example, and your friends think that the music you make is not very good. They think you don't really got talent. And you just give up because you're like, my friends don't like it. For all you know, if you just kept going, 3-4 years down the line, you could make a hit song and you could be living the life of your dreams. So it is very important to not let people persuade you and influence you.
Is because I only trust my own opinions. Now, I shouldn't say necessarily just my own, because I like to collect different opinions from different people who are in positions where I aspire to be. But that's oftentimes because those opinions of people who are doing better than me are truthful opinions. The non-truthful opinions, which are oftentimes the hating ones, are coming from people who aren't doing better than you. So why would you ever even consider caring about their opinion? Now, I think for majority of you guys, and speaking on this from experience because this was me too, showed the attention to these people because naturally we're people pleasers. That's simply human nature. Again, I felt like I would have to be someone I wasn't or show emotions that wasn't truly me just because I wanted to be accepted by people who weren't even worth being accepted by. And as soon as I realized that and was able to step away from that decision, which led to me making a decision to simply stop giving a fuck, was the moment that I realized that this battle is truly only me versus me, and I have nothing to prove to anyone else other than myself, which led everything.
I get what he's saying more. It's like the less you care about other people's opinions, the better off you'll be in life. And I think that's just something you start to understand more with age. The older you get, the less you care. It's easy to be a 21-year-old, however old he is, and just not care anymore. Like, I'm 26. I don't care at all. Like, that's why I'm struggling. So I think it really depends. Like, there's a fine line between not giving a F, but then like giving too much of a F. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a tricky slope.
To my workflow, my mental state, and gave me the motivation to do the things that were necessary to get.
And like, that makes me think, even right now, I'm trying to restrict myself by saying giving a fuck. Like, bro, I don't know the rules on this YouTube thing, so I'm caring too much, you know what I mean? But straight up, I just need to stop giving a fuck. Like, it is what it is.
I am today. And if it weren't for my younger self making that decision to stop giving a fuck about other people's opinions and the challenges that life was throwing at me, I wouldn't be where I am today. So again, as simple as it is for me to sit here in front of a camera and speak to the tens of thousands of people who are probably watching this video and tell them to stop giving a fuck, it actually is that simple. There's no sort of playbook that I can give you that's going to help you make that decision to do so. It simply comes down to you having the discipline to make that decision for yourself. In life, sometimes there's certain roadmaps that people can give you, and oftentimes there's not. They can simply tell you what you need to do and you take their advice, or they can tell you what you need to do and you make the excuse of, oh, I don't know how to do it, which leads to you staying in the same position you're currently in. So again, let me reiterate the fact that I can tell you what you need to do, but you have to make the decision to do it for yourself.
I'm gonna say this is a good message. I'm trying not to give a fuck anymore.
No secret playbook, and there's no secret roadmap on how to stop giving a fuck. It simply comes down to you having the discipline and the determination to do so. When I was
And I realized too, it's more difficult than just stop giving a fuck, because you gotta actually evaluate what you're caring about, why you care about it, and if it's worth it. And I think a lot of people are just giving energy to things that, quite frankly, it's not worth the return. The milk's not worth the squeeze. So
school, I made the decision to try starting a clothing brand. This was after I had already tried drop shipping, after I had already tried crypto, NFTs, basically every business model you could ever think of. Anyways, this is like my junior year of high school. I made a promise to myself that when starting this clothing brand, I was going to start posting content online to try to gain traction and build traffic towards that clothing brand. And while I was doing that, I knew that every single person going to my school would be watching these corny videos that I was posting online that were getting 200 views. I knew that I would put myself in a position where if I gave up on this clothing brand, I would look like a fucking clown. So what I did was I put myself in a position where if I failed, I would look stupid. So doing that, and through the process of doing that, I knew, if I give up, I fail, I look stupid. Because in the end of the day, the only way you can truly fail is if you give up. Every single failure is just an opportunity for you to continue to learn. But anyways, back to my point. With me putting myself in a position where I was putting my back against the wall, deciding to post content online for my whole high school to see, I knew that there was no other option but to make it work. And I also knew that there was no other option for me rather than to stop giving a fuck about others.
I do also want to point out, starting a clothing brand in high school, that's privilege. It's going to take a certain kind of person with a certain kind of status to be able to even do that. So this boy is coming from privilege. I just need to point that out. Not everybody's going to be able to just stop giving a fuck. There's a certain kind of person, as you can see, who has that certain privilege very early on. It takes quite a bit of money to start a clothing brand, so yeah.
People's opinions. Because regardless, I was going to go to school, people were going to look at me different, people were probably going to talk shit behind my back, and they did. Nobody really ever said anything to my face because nobody had the balls to. But regardless, I still knew what was going on behind my back. So I had to make the decision to stop giving a fuck. And that is exactly what I did. And long story short, you guys have already heard this enough, but my clothing brand led to me learning how to run ads for my own clothing brand. I ended up scaling my clothing brand to multiple six figures and learned the skill of running paid ads, which then I went and signed a couple clients to run ads for, and that led my journey of freelance brand scaling and now running an agency that makes the money it makes. But again, I want to reiterate the fact that if I didn't make that decision, that when I was going to start that clothing brand, to start posting content and put myself in a position where my kind of reputation and my coolness was on the line, and if I simply with that didn't stop giving a fuck, I wouldn't be where I am today. You don't truly realize how some of these simple decisions lead you to achieving your goals until you actually go out and just do it. The path isn't clear for you yet. You don't know what decisions are going to lead to what success and what mistakes. So the best thing you can do in your situation is simply make decisions that you know are best for yourself, whether it ends up being a failure or whether it ends up being a success. Because look at the failure side, right? Because if you fail, you learn from something. And every single time you fail, you obtain a piece of knowledge that gets you one step closer to your goal. Eventually, you're going to stack up so many failures.
And I agree with a lot of things he says in this video. I also see how certain people in certain situations have access to certain things. So it's like you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Take risks in life, stop giving a fuck, but at the same time, when you come from privilege, you're able to do a lot of things in life that other people don't. So that's just
that you know everything you need to know in order to achieve that when you're looking for. So why not continue to make these decisions that you're fully aware that are the best decisions for you to make for yourself? And it simply all starts by not giving a fuck. But yeah, that's the video. I hope this helped. Subscribe, leave a like. Road to 100K on this channel. If you haven't already, check out my second channel. And if you...
Alright. Well, this is a cool video. This video is by Roast Brez, so give him a check out if you want. But yeah, stop giving a fuck. I think it's a good message. It's important to just do what you think is right in life. So, all right, people. Thanks for checking this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace.